Today, I am going somewhere that is very near and dear to my heart, and where I haven't been able to go for a long time because it hasn't been open. I am traveling today to Hong Kong. I used to go there all the time when I lived in Guangzhou, but not only am I a lot farther away in Ningbo and in Shanghai before, but of course, because of the pandemic, the border's been closed. With the recent abandonment of the zero COVID policy, the border is now finally reopened between mainland China and Hong Kong. So today is my first chance in about 3 years to go to Hong Kong. Let's have some fun. Starting out my journey today in Huizhou, which is my wife's hometown. It's a blustery day today, as Winnie the Pooh likes to say. Huizhou's not too far from Hong Kong, which is why it's easy enough for me to make the trip today. From Ningbo, I need to fly or else take a very long train trip. But today's train trip will be pretty short, so we're starting out by getting a bus. And here's our bus, number 50. Here I go. Here's what little we'll see of how the modern city of Huizhou looks. And it is pretty modern, not nearly as big as Guangzhou, Shanghai, Shenzhen, or even Ningbo where I live, but it's a pretty modern place. Just lacks a metro. That's the one thing that always makes me feel it's not that modern. But it is in general. Just hope they get a metro someday. That bus doesn't go all the way to the station, so I'm finishing up my journey in a taxi with a nick on the windshield. And here's Huizhou North Station, where I'm going to be departing today. It's quite new. Not too many people. Here I am inside the station. Nice, big, cavernous waiting hall. I'm a bit annoyed to learn that my train is expected to be delayed by about 15 minutes, especially since I do have a transfer today. There aren't any direct trains to Hong Kong from here. I need to change trains on the way. Hopefully, I built in some buffer time, so hopefully I should be okay to make the change, to make the transfer. Now this is interesting. At other stations I've been to, there's normally one ticket gate for every couple platforms, but here it looks like they have 14 platforms, and all of them use just a couple ticket gates. Just got a station announcement saying that the reason the train is delayed is because of the big winds. So, yeah, let's just hope it leaves when they say it will, 15 minutes late. Okay, they're checking tickets now, so looks like it's time for me to start getting on. This train is a Huizhou, a bit newer than the Huizhou ones that I've been using recently. And yeah, the wind is gusting today. Well, time to get on. Got another train coming in the other side. Looks like it's also a Huizhou. Cool. But I'm getting in here. On board the train, but not departed yet. Here we go. Leaving about 13 minutes late rather than 15, so I guess that's a slight improvement. Off we go. Out of Huizhou North Station. Going pretty fast now. We're going to Dongguan South Station, though we'll be stopping first at another station called Zhongkai Station, into a tunnel. It's supposed to only take about 22 minutes to our destination, which I hope is true, given that I'm a little tight on time to transfer there. Leaving Zhongkai Station now. The station is also in Huizhou, whereas Dongguan is a separate city from Huizhou. We'll be there hopefully in about 10 minutes. We're still not at the station yet, but we're approaching. I can tell partly because they announced it and partly because I can feel the train slowing down. We'll be there soon. Should be in time still to make my connection. Here I am. Gotta find my way into the station. A lot of stations have a convenient way to get from the platform right back into the station. This one does not, so I had to exit the station and I'm gonna have to re-enter now. Hopefully that will not be too difficult. I made it into the station and I can see my train on the list. Looks like it's gonna be here, 2B and 3B. Was a bit of a tight transfer, but it looks like I'm gonna make my train. Just opened the door and looks like they're getting ready to check tickets. And heading up the platform, heading up the escalator. This is not our train, it's gonna come over here. Oh, here it is. This train coming in from Guangzhou East. It looks like this is a Huizhou, the old warhorse of the China high-speed rail network. Pulling out of the station. In the station, they said this thing was on time, but in fact, it left about 15 minutes late. Apparently the reason why must have been because it had to wait for another train, because just before we left, this one other train just whooshed through the station past us. Anyway, though, can't complain. I mean, Amtrak is a whole lot worse than this is. Alright, we're on our way toward Hong Kong West Kowloon Station. Currently at 175 kilometers an hour. We will stop at Shenzhen North first. Oh, here we are back in the tunnel. When we arrive at Hong Kong West Kowloon Station, I'll need to go through immigration twice. Once to depart mainland China, and once to enter Hong Kong. For those of you who don't know much about Hong Kong is what's called a special administrative region of China. And what that means is that it continues to have its own immigration territory. Even though it's part of China, it still controls its own immigration, not so different from during its British colonial era. So that means when you arrive, you do need to go through immigration formalities. From a foreign traveler's perspective, it feels a lot like going between different countries. Though China will be quick to stress to you, it is not two different countries, and will be emphatic about that point. But the point is, you do need to show your passport when going between them. Shenzhen North Railway Station. Shenzhen is the city immediately north of Hong Kong. Although we're still, since this is in the north part of Shenzhen, we're definitely still a ways from Hong Kong. Before long, this train will go underground, and it will stay underground all through the center of Shenzhen and throughout the entire journey to Hong Kong West Kowloon Station. It's all a big tunnel. Here we are, we're in the tunnel. We won't see much of the light of day until we reach Hong Kong West Kowloon. Quickly passing through Futianjiang Station, which is an underground station here in Shenzhen. But that was how fast it went by because we didn't stop there. Which means we're nearly across the border between Shenzhen and Hong Kong, which is to say between mainland China and Hong Kong. Once we get there, though, it's still a bit of a ways from the border to Hong Kong West Kowloon Station. But since we can travel about 200 kilometers an hour, it won't take long. Still in the tunnel, but we're now in Hong Kong. I know that because my phone just switched over to a Hong Kong network, no longer on a mainland Chinese one. We're getting close. Slowing down into the station, and people are already lining up to get out of the train. Hong Kong West Kowloon. This is is it. Hong Kong West Kowloon Station. We gotta follow the train to the sign to the exits, which leads straight to Chinese immigration. Going through an immigration control point, which I have not done in over 3 years because of the pandemic. There it is, the exit. And it is turning out to be a bigger pain in the butt than in the past, because I just had to use an app to fill out a somewhat complicated health declaration. We'll see how well this goes. I just passed through something where I had to scan a QR code to give them my health declaration, and I haven't even reached the immigration control point yet, but I will, and I'm sure they're not going to let me film, so I'm stopping right now. This is it. I just got stamped out of mainland China for the first time in 3 years, and now I'm officially in the Hong Kong port area, off to Hong Kong arrival immigration. Here it is. Welcome to Hong Kong. We've made it. That was fun. And here we are in the concourse. I need to go this way to Austin Station of the Tuen Ma line. Here we go. That took longer than I planned because I had to reactivate my octopus card, which is the local fare card. But regardless, here I am. Heading toward Wu Kai Sha, but just one stop to East Tsim Sha Tsui. I did see QR code scanners on the fare gates, which I haven't seen before, so I guess they do that here sometimes now. But since I already have an octopus card, I'm just going to stick with that for now. Especially since it turns out it has a good 73 Hong Kong dollars on it, which I did not realize I'd left that much on the last time I was here. Here's the train to where I'm staying on the MTR. And yes, that's the term used here in Hong Kong. They don't call it the metro as much like they do in many mainland Chinese cities. Extremely crowded train, but hey, I've only got one stop at least. Heading on out of Austin and on my way to East Tsim Sha Tsui. And here it is, East Tsim Sha Tsui Station. Tsim Sha Tsui Station and East Tsim Sha Tsui Station are a huge complex, which is why they've even got moving sidewalks to help you get through it. It's quite crowded right now. Not uncommon in Hong Kong, though it may be even more crowded than normal since the Lunar New Year is happening at this time. By the time I post this, it'll be well past the Lunar New Year since I've got so much else in the queue right now. Out of Tsim Sha Tsui Station and into Tsim Sha Tsui. Here it is. Modi Road over here. And Nathan Road here, one of the most important roads in Kowloon. And you can tell we're in Hong Kong, not mainland China, because the traffic's moving on the left, just like it has ever since the British colonial era. I should go find where I'm staying though, instead of just looking around. Oh, another bit of evidence of British colonial influence, these double-decker buses. I made it to the place I'm staying. It's a shoebox. But if you don't want to pay top dollar in Hong Kong, you kind of have to accept that. And since I plan to be out and about, not resting in my room, it's fine. So yeah, I'm about to get out and start exploring Hong Kong, but that'll be in separate videos. And if you want to see those when they come out, this would be a great time to like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much for watching. See you all next time. Bye!